The 76ers just proved the Celtics dynasty might be crumbling. Here's how. Nobody had the 76ers winning Game 6. After 5 games, Boston looked unstoppable, controlling the series at 3-2 with their elite offense clicking on all cylinders. But Philadelphia came out with something different, something fierce. They dismantled the Celtics 106-93, a 13-point blowout that nobody saw coming. This wasn't a close game. This was a statement. Suddenly, the narrative flips. The Celtics' path to the conference finals isn't guaranteed anymore. One dominant performance forced a Game 7, and now both teams are tied at 3 wins each. Everything's on the line in that final game. What made this Game 6 performance genuinely historic was how Philadelphia dismantled Boston's entire offensive system. The Celtics managed just 93 points, their lowest output of the entire series, and that was an accident. The 76ers implemented a switching scheme on the perimeter that completely neutralized Boston's ball movement, which had been absolutely lethal in Games 1 through 5. Instead of allowing the Celtics guards to initiate their typical pick-and-roll sequences, Philadelphia forced them into isolation situations where their role players couldn't operate. Result: 16 turnovers forced by the 76ers' relentless pressure. Take Game 6 fourth quarter as the clearest example. Boston tried running their standard high pick-and-roll with their star player, but the 76ers' wings stayed attached to shooters on the perimeter, cutting off escape routes and forcing rushed passes. The Celtics' assist numbers cratered as a direct result. What's crucial here is that this wasn't just aggressive defense, it was surgical. Philadelphia's coaching staff clearly studied film from the first 5 games, identified where Boston thrived, and built a game plan specifically designed to eliminate those advantages. They made Boston uncomfortable, disrupted rhythm, and proved that even a team that dominated most of a series can be completely shut down with the right adjustments. That's the kind of defensive execution that changes playoff momentum. Here's where the narrative gets dangerous for Boston. Philadelphia has been waiting for this moment. They've lost Game 7s before, back in 2019 against Toronto, back in 2018 against Boston itself, and both losses haunt the franchise. This isn't just another playoff game. For the 76ers, it's a chance to finally break that pattern, to prove they can close out when it matters most. That kind of psychological momentum is real, and it's building. Meanwhile, Boston's in a completely different headspace. They controlled this series. They had the Celtics' blueprint working through 5 games. But then Philadelphia came out in Game 6 and dismantled everything, 13 points, dominant defense, and suddenly the script flipped. That's crushing. The Celtics aren't used to that kind of collapse, and now they're facing the possibility that their window might actually be closing. The pressure's entirely on them to respond. When you combine Philadelphia's hunger to exercise demons with Boston's fear of squandering what looked like a sure thing, you get Game 7 intensity at its absolute peak. This isn't about basketball anymore. It's about identity, legacy, and whether these franchises can handle adversity when everything's on the line. Winner advances to the conference finals. Loser goes home with regret. Now let's talk stakes. The winner of Game 7 moves on to face an elite conference opponent. We're talking a team that's been waiting for this exact matchup. But here's what really matters. The loser walks away with existential questions. For Boston, a Game 7 loss would be catastrophic. This is a team that's been to multiple finals in the last 3 years. If they fall here, the conversation shifts immediately to whether their window is actually closing. Are the Celtics aging out? Did management fail to add the right depth? Those questions get louder with every playoff exit. For Philadelphia, it's different. A loss sends them back to the drawing board on roster construction. They'd have to ask themselves if their current core can ever get over the hump against elite competition. But a win? That's a statement. That's proof the 76ers can execute when it matters most. Game 7 isn't just about advancing, it's about organizational momentum, front office credibility, and whether your championship window stays open or slams shut. This is where legacies get tested. One game, that's all that separates these franchises now. The 76ers have their shot at redemption. Boston has to prove their dynasty isn't finished. Game 7 will answer every question being asked right now about roster construction, coaching, and championship windows. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our full breakdown when tip-off happens. This rivalry just reached its absolute peak.